I'm your boy Jay.
I'm Dre.
And welcome to the Jay and Dre Show. So, man, we got an interesting topic today. As you know, in several weeks, BET is going to air their annual Black Girls Magic. And I was thinking that a lot of times African American women have to big up themselves. So I want to do something where they hear it coming from the brothers. So the title of this is going to be called Black Girl Magic, and the ode to the sisters. And our format, we're going to discuss a significant other, black women in general, and our mother figure. So Dre, tell them why you love sisters, bro.
Well, I think it's only natural as a black man to love black women. I've been fortunate enough to grow up in a family where I can truly say we have an abundance of strong, beautiful black women all around us, from our cousins to our aunts to even, God rest her dead, our grandmother.
Sure.
And, you know, it was one of those things where I used to hear my mom used to listen to James Brown all the time, and like one of the songs she always played, like "Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud."
Yeah, that's right.
And I never really got it, but you know, as you get older and you get a little bit more perspective, like, you know, it's like, oh, okay. Well, I always thought black women was beautiful. You know, it was never anything that, at least from me and my perspective, from my little bubble of reality, that I had to think twice about. But with that being said, well, I'll kick it back to you so you can get your initial thoughts out.
Oh man, I feel, man, and just becoming more cognitive of what black women go through, man, and a lot of times in popular media, they're overly sexualized, they're demoralized, they're often stereotyped as quote unquote welfare queens, and there's so much negative imagery out there of African American or Black American females. And when I thought about it, man, when I look at people like my mother, when I look at my wife, when I look at my boss, when I look at her boss, which is my regional director, when I just walk down the street and I see all these positive, these beautiful, these God-fearing black women, and not that other ethnicities, nationalities are not beautiful, but when I just look at black women and I just see the things that they have to go through, things that we're not doing on our part as their counterparts, that they still have to persevere raising multiple children on their own. I just have to say that, man, they are magical and they are beautiful. So we're gonna go one-on-one. So I want you to describe your the magic that your mother possessed when she was raising.
Man, that's easy because she's still doing it today.
It's real.
I don't know how, but like, you know, I can really say that my brother and I, we didn't want for much, man. There were times where I knew that stuff was getting tight, and it's like, you know, I go to mom and be like, yo, I don't need this, I don't need that, whatever. And it's like, I don't know how, like every time though, man, she pulled out the hat, whether it be the toy I wanted for Christmas, or you know, these new clothes, or even just get me a summer camp program or something like that. Like, you know, I can honestly say, like, she honestly made sure that we literally did not want for anything.
For real.
And now she's doing it for her grandson. So,
I mean, and Piggy, going off of you, man, I think of my mother. I think of just her having me, and then less than 2 years later, my father dying, and her having a 1-year-old, I think 7, and a 5-year-old, maybe 6-year-old, and her sitting in the room. I just always had this image in my head, just looking at these 3 children staying in Westside Savannah, close, like down the street from the projects, basically, and her just thinking, what am I going to do? But what makes her magical and what makes black women magical is that they have this unique, innate ability to not only survive, but to what's the word that I'm looking for, to do better than what was projected. And not only did my mother do a great job in raising me and my brothers, both of my brothers are they're federal employees. I work and she kept us out of trouble. But just the toughness, she was loving, but she was tough at the same time, man. It's just something that just makes her beautiful, makes her magical. And I'm thankful every day that she raised me. And like you said, I'm thankful every day that she gets to see my children and instill in them what she instilled in me. And she's most definitely an example of black girl magic. So,
another thing I'll throw in there too. Like, my mom made sure we wasn't no dummies.
That's real, man.
Like real talk. Like, honestly, I can say I much rather like bust somebody's windows out than come home with an F, man. But go ahead, next topic, man.
I mean, I'm gonna go what you just. And I tell my boss sometimes, I say, man, a C. That was like, that was outlawed in my house. Like, my mother, man, I don't know how she did it, but she cooked. She had 3 boys, 3 rough boys. We played every sport. My mother attended every game. If she had to go to halftime of my game and leave and go to my brother's game, she did it. My son just started football and I paid a couple hundred on him. So now I'm thinking like, man, how in the world did my mother pay for me and my brothers all the equipment, all the time, all the gas money? Not only did she do that, she helped other kids that was less fortunate on my team. So man, my mother, man, your mother, our aunties, they're very magical, man. It's like it's something they possess that I don't know, man. It got to be children of the Most High. I believe that. So
yeah, bro.
So I'm gonna piggyback to this.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the women that you had the pleasure of loving, the women that you have had the pleasure of loving you, what's some of the magical things that you would say that they possess?
I would definitely, I'd definitely say my ex-wife. The thing that stands out about her, even though it didn't work out, she had an abundance of love. And she, like last week we had Derek on and Derek said like, yo, I'm made for this.
Yeah.
Like,
she's made for it?
Like, I honestly feel that way. Like, almost to a fault, because there was times where, you know, I would look at her, I'm like, oh my gosh, she got it so together. Like, you know, I'm struggling with this daddy thing over here.
Man.
But, you know, she was just such a loving and caring person, especially when it came to children. And you could really literally see that children had a heart. Like, she was made for that. Like, she was bred for that life.
That's real. And shout out Miss L.S. James. And if you have a chance, I gotta throw this in there. Check out her blog. Mama Gotta Live Too. But man, I must say, man, my wife, she possesses. She's quiet. She's quiet, soft-spoken. But she became pregnant with our eldest son when she was 19 years old. 2011, yeah, like maybe 20 years old. And to see her be the primary caretaker of our child, work 40 hours a week, to see her go to school full time, waking up in the middle of the night, changing Pampers, and never complain. And just to watch her, man, transition from a college student to a lady to now a mother of 3. And we had rough times. I can't lie about it. We had rough times as far as financial matters. But as far as, like you said, her love for me and her love for her family, it never wavered. It never wavered, not once. And that goes back to that innate ability that African American women or Black American women have to persevere, man. They're survivors. It's like everything stacked up against them, and yet they find a way to push forward. And I think maybe sometimes in relationships, in a way, it can almost not cause problems, but they have to be strong-willed. And we spoke about that in an earlier video.
Yeah.
That they have to be strong-willed sometimes. That every once in a while you have to go to them. You have to say, "Sister, it's okay. Just relax. I got you." And she was definitely magical, definitely beautiful, and worth every praise that I can give her.
Definitely. I'd like to, and just reflecting, right off the top of my head, man, like, I can honestly say to this day, like, man, it's a blessing, the people that I've encountered, the family that I have, and my whole lot in life in totality, man. Because one thing I can honestly say, your mother, Aunt Deborah, Aunt Bessie, those were some people that if I needed something or if something went down and I couldn't get to my mom and my dad, like, I knew off rip.
They had your back.
They going in. And, you know, not everybody has that, man, and that's a blessing in and of itself, man.
You know, man, I think about our Nana, man, and I think about her being sickly. At least she died when I was 10. And I just remember, man, her barely being able to walk to the church, which was across the street from her house.
Yeah.
And, man, I would walk with her. I would hold her hand, and we had pictures, and I was standing up beside her. But I think about her faith, man, and spiritually wise, I have certain beliefs that may differ, but I can't. Listen, man, they were women of God, man. Like, I think about her standing up and testifying, and she's talking, and I can hear it because I'm beside her, but no one else probably can hear it because she just barely can get her voice out. And her just still being filled, man, being filled with the Spirit and just being strong-willed, just being loving. I can smell her right now. I can just kissing her on the cheek, just seeing her. It's this picture, man, where she's standing up. She has on her crown and her hat. And, man, she's just so beautiful. And it's just something about that matriarchal figure that exists in most black families, brothers. You can't put it in words. I wish another sister, Maya Angelou, was here, so I can talk to her and she can write a poem for me. It's just something, man, that's just so spiritual, so beautiful about our women, man.
Nah, I would definitely agree, man. Especially when it comes to Nana, that's one thing I really have a regret for is I really did take my grandparents for granted, and if I could go back and give my younger self some advice, it would be to truly sit down and pick their brains for everything I can think of, man. Just looking back, man, it all feels like it's gone too soon, man.
And I don't know, man, we getting emotional over here, man. Anybody know Lily Hayward, man, and I know your grandmother on your mother's side was beautiful as well, man, but anybody who knows Lily Hayward knows how powerful she was and how elegant she was. And you know, this is a video that we thought about, man, and we felt that it just needed to be said. And I hope that any sister, any brother, anybody any woman who sees this video, man, I just really want you to know that we appreciate you all, man. So don't ever forget that. And we're gonna, like they say in church, last scene in the session now. But I'm gonna pass it on to Dre, man. I just want you to give a quick, how long you want to be monologue once again of just everything wrapped in one of the reason why you believe that our black women are beautiful and magical.
Black women are beautiful simply because they are. I mean,
you said that, brother. You said that.
I ain't got to get deep for that. black women are magical because I don't know how, but the women that I have had contact with in my life, they work miracles like Jesus, man.
Oh man, turn water into wine, brother.
Hey, brother, get you some Manischewitz.
At least some Welch, you know.
And I can honestly say that the black women that we've talked about, and even some of the ones that we didn't have time to mention, like big and small, like even some of my college advisors, I'm sorry, a little bit off topic, but even the people that we didn't have time to mention, man, they were very impactful in our lives, and I can honestly say that in every area of my life where I've met a black woman who really had it in her heart to make a difference and make a change, you saw the change not long behind her. And to me, that's what makes black women truly powerful and magic. Because when they get the will to change things, change follows.
Change follows. If you go to history, man, you look at Harriet Tubman. We had Harriet Tubman with us and Grandma Anna. Like her spirit was passed on like Grandma Anna. And when I think of black woman, man, I think of the black woman with the curly, that afro, that natural look. And out of all the women on the earth, man, she's the only one with her crown that texture. And in a lot of society today, they use that as a way to demean her. But when I touch it, man, it's like lamb's wool. It's just, it's special. Think about her body shape. And shout out to Kim Kardashians and all the video fixings we have today, but they had Sarah Bartman in the 1800s. They took on a worldwide tour because her body shape was unbelievable. I think about that's natural. That those curves, that walk, that's natural to them. They don't need the suck fat from their stomach and plumping their behind to do that. And that's no disrespect to anybody who does. I'm just saying that's innate to them. I think about my mother. I think about my wife. I think about the women I sat in class with. Who this girl, I'm not going to share her name, but she's my friend on Facebook. But I remember she told me, hey man, when I graduate, I'm going to start me a non-profit and blah, blah, blah. Now she's the owner of like 3 companies. I think about Michelle Obama. The best thing about Barack Obama was Michelle, man. Shout out to the 44th, man, but the best thing about Barack was Michelle. Michelle is gorgeous. And her by his side takes him from here to here. And I don't know, man, I could go on and on. And like I said, man, I've dated women of all ethnicities. And all of them are special in their own right. But this right here, man, this is ode to the sisters. And we're here to let you know, man, from the Jay and Dre Show, you're loved, you're appreciated, you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're every great adjective that can be described fits you. And I love you, man. So, Dre, you want to wrap it up, man?
Well, one, I think you said pretty much everything that needs to be said. I think that'll do it for this week. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the Jay and Dre Show. I'm Dre.
I'm your boy Jay.
And please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow us at the social media pages down below. Thank you.
Black Girls Rock. Peace.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love